Okay, so we're going to start our weathering on this thing and get this going. So like I said, inside the box, I'm basically going to do just solid rust. I'll leave some red popping through, but basically going to do the bottom and the top and kind of go from there. So you see I peeled that trim piece off here before, that piece there. So where's my piece at on the bench here? Okay, so I got my trim piece here. So this trim piece is going to go like this. I'm going to basically put it back on. I'm going to leave it to where it hangs out like that, and we're going to bend it out a little bit. So that's what we're going to do with that piece. So it looks like it's still there, but it's just rotted out from behind it. And of course we're going to put rust and everything behind there. And that's what we're going to do with that piece. That was the purpose of that. So we're going to start with some of this. So I got my foil up in there. So we're going to start rusting on there. And I'm going to start with my inside here. And I'm going to use my acrylics because I think they look nice. So I'm going to use the burnt umber, and then I'm going to use some of my raw sienna on this one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to mix the two. I'm going to do the raw sienna, and we're going to mix the burnt sienna and give it just that little bit of a different. I think this is that more of that rust oxide look. I think that's kind of a cool look for that. So we're just going to cut this guy in half just to save the sponge, because we're going to do little spots on this here too. Now this here I want more of a darker, so I might use my just my regular. This is burnt umber too, but that's burnt umber. So you can see I got you in the corner of the screen here. See the difference in color. I mean, that's a lot darker. Unless that dark, unless that dries dark, I don't know, but so we're gonna start with this guy. We're gonna go heavy in the corners up top here. So I'm gonna get this all chunked in here, and I'll bring it back, because like I said, it's take a little bit of time to do this. Like I said, I'm gonna concentrate on the edges and all that stuff, and where I have the holes. So like I say, I'll get this going, and I'll bring you back when I get kind of that point. Alright guys, so I'll show you what we did here. So I started with the burnt umber, and I used one of my beauty makeup sponges. So I basically just took and went around all around the dark areas and kind of let it dry a little bit, and then I took the burnt sienna and just lightly went over top it, and I sponged the whole inside. Now that's wet yet, so once that dries it'll flatten out some, and go from there. So that's all I'm going to do inside the box. I'm going to leave it just like that. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'll show you I did the bottom. I went a little more excessive on the bottom, because like I say, I want that to look really nasty and rusty looking, which it will once that dries. So I did the same thing, did a little bit of did burnt umber throughout the whole thing. Then I mixed some burnt Sierra, and then I put some of the raw Sierra in just little bits and pieces. So this is the lighter color, as you can see. So once that dries real good, that'll look pretty good in there. So other than that, I took some of my Flao black brown. I took some of this guy here. This is 70.822. And I started to do some of my up in the rust areas and look up top and along here. Now on the cab, I just did a couple spots. I took the same color and put some where my marker light's gonna be. I'm gonna leave that one clear because my clear coat is good there yet, so it's nice and shiny. So we're gonna leave that nice. Other than that, I got to do a little bit up in here yet, and then we're gonna start rusting in the back of it. So I figure I'd just get some pieces going, let them dry, and all that good stuff. So on the hood where I rub that just a little bit, I'm going to take a little bit of the rust color, and I'm just going to put just a little bit along the edge there and go from that point. So we got this one here, it's called dark rust. This is a nice looking color. So this is basically just what they call dark rust. I kind of like this color, and we're just going to do just a little line across that hood there. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of fill in my boo-boo. We got a mark on the front here. Now we're going to put another color on top of that. So this is basically just the base. So I got a gash here in the hood. So like I say, we're just starting with the dark colors on the gashes. And we're going to let that set for a minute. I got a few spots in here. I may do is just leave that and just put a little bit of the wash on top of that. Just to go from there. Now I got some spots here that started to rust a little bit. That we created, obviously. So we're just going to just touch the edges of it. And then we're going to let that dry a little bit, and then we'll put another color on it. So this is basically just our base here. Like so. Now we got another spot in the front. So we're going to bring the rust down from the front a little bit. And we're going to bring this over. I may even go higher with this with another color. Something like that. Alright, we're going to leave the hood dry for a minute. And we'll go back to the box side. You gotta be careful because I got a lot going on with this. So we're going to put a little bit of this up here, cover my spot. A little bit in this boo-boo here. We'll take a little bit of this, come up here. So that's a little bit lighter than the other color, but not a lot. It's almost not enough to give it a good contrast. So we're probably going to leave this at that, and we're going to change colors out. So another color I really like out of this kit is the light rust. This is number 301. It's kind of more of a subtle color. So we're going to do just a little bit on this. So basically take this color, we're going to fill in some of our rust spots here. And then once this cures, we're going to put a few spots on here. And then we're going to come back with the wash. And we'll kind of finalize it with that. I should let that other dry because I keep putting my finger in that. And I tell you what, that's really aggravating. Do a few spots around through here. Tell you what, I almost like that other color better for this. The acrylic color. I might put a little bit on here just to see. This color here is kind of my rust as well, the light red, but that's that color there. So it's just not quite the same, but it's close. Like I said, I don't want to go too excessive with the rust because I don't want to overdo it. Especially on the white, you can really get carried away with it pretty easy. But I like to give it a couple of colors just to give it that little transformation look. So I'm going to go back and grab some of that dark paint and put a couple pieces in here. So the big thing when you guys are rusting is you don't want like squiggly lines or anything. You want to keep it pretty straight if you can. You know, obviously the straighter the better. But obviously you can't get it 100% straight, but you're going to want to get it somewhat close, obviously. Okay, we're going to do a few spots on it here and there, a couple pieces, and then we're going to leave it at that. Cover up my little boo-boo there. So I don't want to get too much on there because I'm going to put some of the other color on it. So I don't want it to overbearing it. Just a few spots, that's all we're going to do. So I got a line right there. I really kind of like to. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. Put one up here in the back. Once you put the other color on that, that'll really set it off. So we're gonna let that dry for a little bit. And do a little bit in the back here around the lights. Something like that. Okay, I think we'll let that go like that for right now. Like I said, don't overdo it. Sometimes too much is too much. Alright, so we're going to do this guy here. So we're going to start with the obvious spots here. Some rust in here. Okay, do a couple spots on the doors and then we'll call this good. We're going to let that dry for a minute and we'll come back with some different colors. Okay guys, so taking a little bit of this wash, the layout wash, the oxide. I really love this color, especially on white. I mean, it just sets it off. So that'll look nice once I put my marker lights in there. So we're just going around the fenders. Just giving it a little bit of a, as they say, just a wash. Same thing on back here, and we'll call this good. We'll do a little streaking on there in a minute. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Alright guys, so there's our rusty truck. She's looking pretty cool. So we're going to leave it at that. And we're going to get some trim on it. So we give it just enough highlights up top. Sanded that roof down a little bit, down to that rust color. Did a little bit in the box. So underneath the box is all done up, all nasty like. So left side of our cab looks pretty good. Into the box. So she's all rotted out. Alright, I'm going to get some trim on this and we'll probably continue this on the next video. So I appreciate you guys following along and checking out the channel. And we will see you on the next video. You guys have a good one and thanks for watching.